From time to time, the drum on a roaster will get out of alignment from turning, kind of like wheels on a vehicle can get out of alignment from use. We're going to show you how to realign the drum on a BC3 and 5, and it's very similar on the bigger models as well. Looking at the drum with the drum door open, you can take a hex key, a 1mm hex key, and see if it'll easily fit down between the front plate and the drum. If it doesn't fit down in there, or it's very tight, there's a possibility you may need to align your drum. You can do a heat test where you run it up to about 450 degrees empty with the drum running to see if it begins to rub. If it begins to rub, then you obviously need a drum alignment. If for some reason during a roast it begins rubbing, clearly you need a drum alignment. The reason why we have to have a space between the front plate and the drum is that the steels expand when heated, so you need about a 2mm space between the drum and the front plate. And if there's not that, when it's heated, especially when it's full of beans, it could accidentally rub against the front plate and even stop the drum from turning. The way to fix that is to loosen the bearing, back bearing. Drum will slide open. You can push it back and push it forward, and then you can put a 2mm hex key in front of that, tighten it down to that hex key, pull the hex key out, and that will give you plenty of space between the drum and the front house. I'm going to show you how to do that on a BC3 and 5. So use a 3mm hex key and remove the 5 bolts on the front and the 5 bolts on the back. And your housing will slide right off. Then go to your back bearing. You're probably not going to see this very well, so we'll inject a couple of pictures, but there's basically 2 set screws on the back bearing that you loosen. Do not remove these set screws, just loosen them so that your shaft can be pushed forward or pulled back. I've got the 2mm hex key. I'm going to push this out, then I'm going to slide that down in there between the front plate and the drum, and I'm going to pull it all the way tight. So I got a 2mm space between those, and then I'm going to take my hex key that I loosened the back bearing with and tighten those 2 set screws. Once tightened, you'll want to give your roaster a heat test. And it's better to give it a heat test before you put the housing back on, just in case you have to make a minor adjustment. You don't need to make the housing, put the housing on and off. So give it a heat test to 450, 475 degrees on the bean temperature to see if you have any rubbing. And if everything looks good, you should be fine and you're ready to roast.